Welcome to Mindset to Motion podcast, where transformation is not just a dream, but a journey we embark on together. I'm Chase, your guide on this path of health, fitness, and mental resilience. Each episode, we will dive deep into strategies that bridge the gap between wanting and becoming, exploring everything from fitness hacks, biooptimization, and nutrition tips to the power of a positive mindset and habit formation. So, whether you're taking your first steps or looking to elevate your journey, you're in the right place. Let's get set to put those aspirations into action. All right. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Mindset to Motion podcast. I'm Chase. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. Again, I'm focused on trying to do things where I'm incorporating my physical activity into the stuff that I need to do for work, for podcasts, for information that I'd like to share. So I've decided to continue trying to do this as I'm walking. Hopefully, it's not becoming too distracting. If it is, I'd love to know so that I can make some modifications make this the best that I could possibly can for you. So today we're going to be talking about fitness and incorporating fitness into your everyday life. So the main topic is increasing activity, integrating movement into your daily life. So I think many of us already know it's important for us to figure out ways to remain active and to have an active lifestyle, whether it's participating in sports, whether it's getting outside just for walks, playing with our children, doing exercise routines, things like CrossFit or group workout programs. I think we all understand why it's important because our body needs to move and our bodies need to be continuously conditioned in order for us to improve or to become better over time. So it is important for us to exercise or have some sort of exercise and movement in our daily activity. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that every day you need to go out and run a half marathon or push yourself to the state of exhaustion where you're making yourself sick all the time. But if you incorporate things into your daily lifestyle, if you incorporate things like walking, taking the stairs, stuff like that, it makes it a lot easier for you to just remain active over time. We've talked about the power of habits in the past couple episodes and how implementing small or tiny habits can make a massive difference in a long period of time because those small changes stacked together over a long period of time make it easier to continue doing that and to repeat those things on a regular basis. If you were to take time off from work, let's say you take 1 week off every month, coming back to work for those other 3 weeks would be very difficult to do. It's the same way with exercise, right? If you only work out or find ways to add activity into your lifestyle, let's say 1 day a week, that 1 day is going to be miserable because you're going to feel like you're forcing yourself to do something that you don't really want to do. So if you figure out ways to make it fun, repeatable, make it a habit, it's going to be easy to maintain because you're already doing it all the time. It'll become second nature to where you're not really having to motivate yourself to get out there and do it. It's just something you do. Regular physical activity can help improve your mood. It can help improve, obviously, your physical appearance, and it can also improve your energy levels. Because you're moving, you won't feel as lethargic. You're keeping yourself active more. So your body is not constantly trying to put itself to sleep. You're sitting around all the time, or if you're not actively taking steps towards increasing your activity, your body doesn't feel like it needs to have that energy, so it doesn't create the energy. It's important to make sure that you are looking for and incorporating ways of having physical activity in your daily lifestyle. So now let's talk about a little bit of the risk if you don't figure out ways to incorporate this stuff in your daily lifestyle. Most of us in today's world, especially post-COVID, had some experience with a very sedentary lifestyle. And a lot of that was because we had to work remotely, right? We went from a lifestyle of having to go into an office and walking to and from the office or walking to and from the car to get to your office while you're at work. There are probably regular times where you had to go to meetings or go to the cafeteria or go to lunch, required you to take steps throughout the day. And then during COVID and everybody had to be locked down during quarantines, we saw a lot of people who went from working and having a fairly active, normal day job to working from home. Now, I was already a remote worker before COVID. And from when I started working remotely, my activity level went down if I didn't force myself to go to the gym or force myself to go running, and my weight started going up and my energy levels went down. And that was because I spent a lot of my day sitting around, right? All I had to do was wake up, go downstairs or go to my office and get started with work. So I would sleep later. I didn't have a morning routine to get myself awake and active and feeling good. I just woke up, rolled out of bed, got started with work. And that is that sedentary lifestyle of there's no steps, there's no activity required to get started for work, get your day started. And you really end up allowing yourself to become lethargic and allowing yourself to just sit around. And because of that, you have decreased mood. You're not as excited or energetic. You don't look for ways to keep yourself moving because once you have settled into a lethargic or sedentary lifestyle, it's very difficult to get motivated to get out of that lifestyle, right? Once you are comfortable with just sitting around all day, getting up to take the stairs is almost impossible. It just feels like such a difficult thing. So you'll just keep yourself sitting there even longer. One of the biggest reasons I started working out was because walking from my desk, which used to be right here actually, and walking up one flight of stairs to get to the restroom would have me winded. Like, oh man, it was really hard just to get up one flight of stairs, especially if I was in a hurry between meetings and I would run up those stairs. Man, I felt like I was about to pass out. And I thought, this can't be good. This can't be healthy, right? I need to make some changes because something as simple as walking up a flight of stairs should not wind me and make me feel like I needed to take a 10-minute break. So, not incorporating daily physical activity, things that just get you moving, will slowly. And what's interesting is how fast those slow sedentary lifestyles become a habit. And you think that it takes a long time to become fit. It does, but it also takes a very long time to become unhealthy and sedentary. However, it's amazing how fast that time flies by. And next thing you know, you're 60 or 100 pounds overweight, and you feel like now you've got this huge mountain you have to try to tackle in order to get back to the healthy lifestyle that you used to be at, or to get to a healthy lifestyle that you've never been at before. So let's talk about some practical ways that we can incorporate physical activity into our daily lives. Because while it's important to try to get into a physical fitness routine of going to a gym, maybe doing some group fitness workouts, that's only a small portion of your day, right? So if you go to the gym and you work out for an hour, that's 1 hour out of 23 hours. So if you work out for 1 hour a day and you spend the other 12, 14 hours sitting at a chair, not doing any other movement, that 1 hour is not going to have the performance improvement that you're hoping for. So it's important to look for ways to incorporate physical activity into your daily lifestyle, whether that be walking, or let's say you're back at the office now, taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Depending on what level you work in the building, right? If you work on the 44th floor, you're not going to take 44 flights of stairs, but maybe you start off by taking 4 flights of stairs and then catch the elevator for the rest of the way up. You can look for ways to incorporate physical activity into your lifestyle. Maybe during some phone call conferences, or let's say you have conference meetings with people in your office building, maybe y'all take it for a walk. Everybody goes together. Walk together, have that meeting while you're walking somewhere. If you, like me, work remotely, work from home, look for ways to incorporate walking into your normal lifestyle. I have stuff that I need to do, but I also want to get a certain number of steps in every day. So either use a treadmill or I have a walking pad over by my desk that I can use when I'm working. Look for ways to incorporate this stuff into your life. If you know you have meetings during certain times of the day and it's beautiful outside, take advantage of getting access to that natural source of vitamin D and get outside and go for a walk while you're taking a meeting. How many of us have been on phone calls where we sit there for an entire hour during a conference call for work and we literally said nothing? We're just listening, or we're there in case somebody needs to ask us a question. But could you do that while you're taking a walk? I'm pretty sure you could. Now, there are going to be some exceptions to that where you need to take notes or you're doing the presentation. Obviously, you can't present a meeting if you're walking outside, but in those situations where you have certain stuff like that, then obviously you need to make an exception. You will need to be seated. You will need to be standing for that stuff. That's actually another great example. Instead of sitting down for work, stand up. I've given plenty of presentations standing at a standing desk instead of sitting down. So look for ways to incorporate stuff like that into your daily lifestyle, into your work schedule, so that it makes it easier for you to make it consistent. Just like what I talked about, the power of creating small or tiny habits, you have to find a way to do these things consistently. Because walking for one day and say, I'm going to walk 10,000 steps today at work, that's great. But if you only do that once a month, it's not going to have much of an impact. The other thing is, every time you do that once a month, your legs are going to be killing you. So, just like with starting small on the tiny habits, start small on this stuff too. Incorporate walking in your day, whether it's with a walking pad or a treadmill or outside. Maybe walk for 5 minutes, walk for 10 minutes, do something small, and then slowly increase it over time. Just because you're on a 30-minute conference call doesn't mean you have to walk for 30 minutes. Maybe you walk for 5 minutes and then walk back, take the rest of the call at your desk. Look for ways to incorporate this stuff into your existing schedule. Now, let's talk about another form of caloric burn or energy consumption, which is called NEAT. Stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So this is basically anything that's not exercise related. So maybe it's walking to work. If you're not doing it as a form of exercise, that's considered NEAT because you are burning calories during this time while you are doing things. So if it's walking or it's mowing the yard, grocery shopping, those types of things, gardening, that type of stuff requires you to be moving, requires you to be bending and squatting and standing up, requires your arms to be moving, requires you to increase your heart rate, but is not an actual exercise or a sports exercise. So that type of stuff can actually help a lot. The other thing that you may not be aware of is that fidgeting, where you'll see people bouncing their legs or like shaking a pen while they're sitting at the desk, those types of things actually have a very high use in your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which helps you burn calories outside of your exercise routines. So look for ways to incorporate stuff like that into your lifestyle. Park a little bit farther at the grocery store, and then you're walking around in the grocery store. And my wife will unintentionally increase my NEAT and my step count at the grocery store when I go because she'll send me reminders of things that we need. And I swear it always seems like I'm on one side of the store. She'll remind me of something that's on the opposite side of the store. And then she'll remind me of something else that's back where I was just at before. So those types of things can have a massive impact on your caloric burn because it's not something that you're actively having to focus things like, oh, I'm here at the gym, I'm working out, I'm running for 6 miles. It's just your normal lifestyle that incorporates burning calories because you're moving. Now, just like we talked about earlier on in this podcast, and if you haven't watched the episode about overcoming barriers, it was one of our first episodes. I would really recommend going back and checking it out. Barriers are going to be one of the biggest things, even with this type of stuff of incorporating activity into your daily life. You're going to have barriers that come up. Maybe it's, I don't have time to do that. If you're walking while you're working, it's not a time barrier, right? Because you're doing two things, and most of the time you can walk and talk or walk and type. Maybe you can't walk super fast, but taking steps, even at a slower pace like I'm doing right now, is still steps towards your activity for the day. So don't overlook the importance of finding solutions to the excuses that you come up with, because these barriers are super easy to come up with. Like I said before, if you're looking for an excuse to not exercise, you'll always find that. Another really widely used barrier is just lack of motivation. I just can't motivate myself to do it. Like I want to, but every time I try to do it, I just can't get myself motivated to get started. There are a lot of people who discuss the differences between motivation and discipline. And a lot of us will tell you that it's discipline that gets you out there to do that even when you don't want to do it. And usually discipline gets you started and the motivation keeps you going. However, if you're finding the fact that you are consistently not motivated to go out and do the stuff that you're saying is a goal or saying is important for you, find a buddy, find somebody that you work with, or get your spouse or a family member or a friend who will help you through it. Whether it's just for accountability, where they're calling you and saying like, "Hey, did you go for your walk today? Hey, how are you feeling? Are you sore? What types of workouts are you doing? What things are you incorporating into your daily lifestyle to accommodate for increasing your daily activity?" Or if it's somebody that you work with, maybe y'all go for your walks together, right? But having a group or having multiple people where some days they're motivating you and some days you're motivating them to get out and do that activity or do that walk that you said that you wanted to do every day. I think everybody would be lying if they told you that they're motivated to do their workouts every day. There's lots of days where, man, sitting on that couch just feels a lot better. My legs are sore from a workout. I really don't feel like getting out of my chair and walking while I'm working today. I'd rather just sit down. I really don't want to stand up during my work day today. I'd rather just sit down. So having that buddy, having that accountability partner who's there to keep you honest, to keep you working towards the goal of what you said you wanted is super important. And it's relatively easy. Now, let's also talk about the fact that accountability partners, accountability buddies, sometimes you have to switch them up. Just like when you start growing up or you start up leveling in your career, up leveling in your lifestyle, you end up having to change friends. You may hit a point where you need somebody who's got a little bit more motivation than your current accountability partner. That's fine. It's okay to ask new people to help you out. Some people are going to help you reach certain peaks of your climb, and then you're going to need somebody different to get to the next level. Don't stunt your growth. Don't keep yourself held back by the fact that you're working with one person. You can have multiple accountability partners for different areas of your lifestyle. Now, I want to make sure that I don't understress the importance of taking this slow and gradually increasing it. What I don't want you to do is say, I'm going to walk 20,000 steps today. And then you go out there and you're walking for 10 miles and you hurt yourself or you're super sore and then you can't do anything for a week, right? I just want you to start small, slowly increase, gradually increase how long you're doing these things, whether it's walking on a treadmill or maybe you spend some time on an exercise bike while you're on a call. Look for ways to incorporate this into your daily lifestyle. Now, just like every week, I want to ask if you have any examples of how you've incorporated activity into your daily life, especially around your work schedule. Let us know. Drop a note here on YouTube, find us on one of our social medias and send us a message, or just send us an email. We would love to hear how you're incorporating more physical activity into your daily lifestyle, where it's not making it so aggressive and so much of a heavy lift as like going to do a workout where you're having to leave and drop everything that you're currently doing to be physically active. So we're going to wrap up this episode. Thanks for following along with us. And I hope that you're able to look for and find ways to incorporate activity into your daily life. Go for a walk, get outside, spend time on a treadmill, maybe get on an exercise bike, spend a little bit of time doing something that increases your heart rate, increases your activity, that makes it a consistent, easy, repeatable habit. Next episode, we're going to jump back into the mindset topic. We're going to be focusing on how we can improve our health through mindset. So thanks for joining again. We look forward to seeing you next week. And that wraps up another episode of the Mindset to Motion podcast. Thank you for sharing this time with us. And remember, every step you take is a step closer to a better you. For more insights, tips, and stories, make sure you subscribe, follow, and join us next time as we continue to transform our mindsets and set our lives in motion. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram for more resources and support. Here's to moving forward, one thought, one action at a time. Until next time, keep your mindset in motion.